Welcome back, you guys, and apologies for being away for so long. I have been ill for the past few days, and of course, with all the celebrating during Christmas, the drinking, etc., it feels like it took a toll on me, you guys, so I apologize for that. But I'm back now, and I'm bringing you guys a match review of our 2-0 win against Nottingham Forest. Now, today's win wasn't the most exciting win. That second half in particular was not the most exhilarating second half we've seen this season. We can all understand that. But there was still a lot of interesting and decisive talking points on this game today. And I'm going to be speaking about Hudson Odoi, Reece James, Michy Batshuayi and a few other players today. Because, today there's a lot to talk about. But before I get into anything, and quick plug out the way, you guys, download the One Football app. At this point, you guys know what I'm about to say. But what you haven't done yet is download the app. So if you guys want to do that, you'll find it below in the link in the description. And if you like today's video, smash that like button. Help me get over 1,500 likes. And on that note, we get straight into things. And as you guys know, I like to start with the lineup first. Because for me, it gives us an indication into what Lampard's thinking and how he wants the team to approach the game. Now, we have to understand that for this game, Lampard did need to make some rotations because, of course, the league is more important at this point in time. And Nottingham Forest are in the Championship, so you could afford to do that. So this meant that Lampard decided to go with a stronger team, and I was a bit surprised by that. I think that a lot of us maybe felt that we'd see a lot more academy grads getting the opportunity today to show what they can do. Maybe even a potential start for Tariq Lamptey as well, after his really good second half against Arsenal not too long ago. But I guess this lineup indicates that Lampard wants to go as far as he can in the FA Cup this year. And that's a good mentality to have, because for a lot of these young guys that have won a lot of trophies throughout their very young careers already, it's about translating that now into real professional football. So again, I understand what Lampard's doing and I agree with it. The thing that stood out for me the most was seeing Hudson Odoi and Reece James potentially linking up and combining down that right hand side, and this gets into the game perfectly because we get the first goal in like 6 minutes. Hudson Odoi with a very similar goal, I think, to what he scored against them last time, if I remember. With Hudson Odoi scoring a pretty similar goal to what I think he scored against them last time he played against them, and that's what you wanted to see. Callum needed a goal today. He got that goal today. And I felt like he came over quite a lot in this game today. I thought his overall play was much better, much sharper. And naturally that was going to be the case because you're playing against, weaker players in the division below. So we can't forget that context. But it's still about how you apply yourself. It's still about what you do, the end products you show. And today, Hudson Odoi was full of end products. I mean, his crosses inside the box don't tend to get enough praise, I feel, but they're excellent. I mean, this guy can put in any type of cross he wants with his left foot, with his right foot. The goal threat, his ability to switch the balls, so useful. And this is what I like about Callum. Now, as Lampard said right after the game, and I think as fans, we need to accept and understand he's 19, coming back from an Achilles injury. That's going to take a toll on you, not just physically, but mentally, because you need to get that trust for your body again, When you play that same game which encourages fouls, etc., well, when you play games, you're going to bring that fear into those games. If you're Callum, naturally you are going to get fouled a lot by the opposition teams. And it's about him building that mental resilience, overcome his fears, play without fear, play brave, play his game. That's what it's about now. So I really feel as a fan base, especially as us fans are in a social media era, it's about time we take more responsibility for our boys. It's about time we look out for them. Guys that have come from our academy, that have been with this club since they were kids. This is the affinity and I think the connection we need to have with these guys now. And, and this is why we get behind Callum Hudson-Odoi. It's as simple as that. Now, in this game too, I think I saw a bit of a turning point from Callum. There was a moment when he picked up a knock and you're thinking in your head, oh, for God's sake, this is the last thing we needed. The last thing Callum needed was a setback that could potentially roll him out for a bit. Not when he's still trying to get that confidence back in his body again. Not when he's trying to get that confidence to obviously work on his acceleration. As Lampard said after the game today, how is he going to get through this and how serious does this injury look? Thank God it was okay in the end, and maybe that was good for Callum, because it felt like he was still able to play his game. He looked a lot more confident after that moment happened, and maybe that's what Callum needed. This is football. Things like this do happen, unfortunately, but that doesn't mean that you need to let your fears overcome you. So I think this was a good lesson that Callum learned today. I'm hoping he brings this confidence from today's game into future games, and hopefully he really picks up in the second part of the season, you guys. But anyway, we move on from Callum and we move on to one of the best players today, and that was Reece James. Now, before this guy came into the team, during that period where he had his injuries, and we were all just really excited to see him come in. You know, everything he's been showing us recently is exactly why we've had so much promise with this guy, why the fan base has been so excited, and it's because this guy is clearly an unbelievable footballer. Now, I mentioned earlier on Twitter that Reece put in some of the best crosses of the season today, and Batshuayi didn't score from any of them, which is just disappointing, and I'll speak about Mitchell later on. But just the overall quality you have, and it really made me realise something, you guys. You know, with the Nottingham Forest being a championship team, it meant that they gave us more spaces down the flanks, and when you compare the level between a championship team and a Premier League team, well, Premier League teams get a lot more tighter to close down Reece, so this is why you can see some erratic crossing at times, but you know, if you give this guy time and space, you are asking for trouble. You are asking for a lot of issues for yourself, because he is one of the best crossers in the league by far. I mean, the technique, the dip he puts on his balls is incredible. And you know, these crosses are so good that with some of our strikers not really burying them in the back of the net, it's not good enough. And I'll speak about Mitchie now, you guys. It falls in very nicely. Batshuayi today had an opportunity to really let Frank know, listen, you can rely on me, you can trust me, you can use me this season. I have it in me. I'm ready to fight for the team. I have the quality to help the team out. And today, did he show that? Not at all. Not at all. It was disappointing. It was tame. It was quiet for Mitchie. You know, his overall touch, his involvement in the game. There's a clear gap in quality. A clear level and difference between Tammy and Michy Batshuayi. I mean, Tammy's overall game and his ability as a player is just much better than Michy's. So it's no surprise why we need to go on the market to bring in reinforcement. Now, it pains me to say this because I think Michy is an unbelievable character, an unbelievable person. You know, I really like him for the team, for the squads. And, you know, it's great to know that he wants to actually fight for his place still, even knowing that he could potentially be a third choice option. So that tells you that, you know, he is here for the team, etc., etc. But, you know, he has to be real with himself. I think maybe this quality, maybe playing for us, he isn't of this level just yet. And it's understandable when he's had so many loan spells and this lack of consistency in a key time for his development. So I do understand that, but after today's game, it's what I've seen from Mitchie from the first moment he ever played for us. There hasn't been any improvement in his game, and that's been the most disappointing thing for me. Zero improvement from the player that we first signed to the player who's currently here with us right now. I want to speak about the key moment that happened in the game too with VAR. Now, I know that VAR gets a lot of stick, and you know, I completely understand it. In regard to like the fan experience from, you know, enjoying a game, it really does ruin the momentum. It ruins how you know, feel in a game. You know, when you want to celebrate, it makes your celebration fake. If you've had to wait 5 minutes for a decision, I mean, how can you really be elated the same way? It's not. So I could understand why, you know, it really does affect a lot of people. But I think because the technology is just so young and really at its infancy, it's a technology I feel that with more time and experience and understanding, and as they get cameras that can capture even more frames, that's how it's going to transform how the sport is. We can get instant reactions soon. I'm sure they'll work on things like AI to determine these things even quicker than humans doing it. So I think the future of this tech is there because, you know, this moment in the game today, you guys, it really spoke volumes for how VAR can improve the game. You know, this moment where I've seen this happen to us time and time again over the years, something that goes against us. Because let's be serious, that penalty was never a penalty in the first place anyway, because Tomori got the ball. So without VAR's involvement, this could have gone against us, and who knows what the outcome of the game could have been like. Yeah, a moment I'll never forget is that game against Liverpool back in the 03-04 season when that ghost goal which Luis Enrique claimed that he scored that never went in. We were robbed because if that goal ever went in, I bet you anything we get to the final, and who knows what could have happened, you guys. Things could have been completely different. We can't forget that disgraceful game against Barcelona not too long ago, which really stopped us in the most blatant manner in reaching the European final. And you can see how these moments in the game can have long-lasting impacts in the future that you don't even see coming. But with VAR, those right calls could have been overcalled, the right things would have happened, and who knows what position we'd be in right now if certain decisions over the year went in our favour. So for me, this is why we need to just be patient with VAR. With time and experience, it is going to get better. Anyway, some closing thoughts, you guys. I'll speak about a few other guys as well. Emerson today was very poor. I really feel like he is suffering after returning from injury, because you guys, I know that when it comes to players and injuries, we just see these guys as just stats and just pixels, and I don't know how people see them, but they don't see them as human enough. Emerson came back from injury. Emerson gets injured, he comes back to then only get injured again to then come back, and I think that is naturally going to take a toll, and I think this is why his performances just haven't been the same since the start of the season. So that tells me that with more time, and as Emerson gets even fitter, maybe gets confidence back himself. Hopefully he does get back to that level, because he was looking very impressive, and I'm always going to advocate for patience with players. But that patience is only going to come if I see that quality there, and if I've seen enough signs that this player has something about them. Now, 2 performances today, even though I know that they had some involvement in the game from, Pedro and Ross Barkley, I think the game kind of typified for me how I've always viewed these players over the years. They have their moments, but ultimately it's always been quite mediocre for me. Ross Barkley, yeah, he gets a goal, yeah, 1 or 2 bright things, but, at this level, it's not enough. Those few bright things we see from Barkley, they should be standard things that we see consistently. The amount of times the moves get broken down in the final third because Barkley's either miscontrolled it, he's turned too slowly, etc, etc. Now, credit to the player, he really grew into the game even more as things ended, but still I need to comment on that. And with Pedro as well, he got the involvement for the assist, but still a bit quiet, wasn't really causing too many issues to the Nottingham Forest defence. And yeah, it's quite obvious why we need to go in the market in January to get some stronger reinforcements for the team. It's obvious, but you guys, we saw some promise today. As usual, the young players standing out and making a name for themselves, with Reece in particular showing just how far he is from the level in which he was playing at last season for Wigan. I mean, by far, probably the best player today. He combines defensive skill with attacking prowess, and he's looking like a very special player. But you guys, on that note, I'm going to wrap things up and keep things moving. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm DNEFC. This is Blue Lions TV. I'll see you guys later with some more videos.